Well, hello everybody. This is Matt Kramer here, and I'm going to make up for yesterday, Sunday, our Sacred Sunday series. And today's going to be a special one because last Sunday I started season 2 with the book of Genesis. With the book of Exodus, and also the Proverbs. I did that last week as well with the Gospel of Mark. So today is just going to be Genesis for this video. The first video will be Genesis chapter 5 and 6 because I'm going to kind of breeze through Genesis chapter 5 real quickly. It's just a genealogy. So here we go. Genesis chapter 5. So here we go. Let's read chapter 5, and I'll just read the names in the genealogy if I can. I'll do my best to get the correct pronunciation. So here we go. Genesis chapter 5, verse 1. This is the book of the generations of Adam. In the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him. Male and female created he them, and blessed them, and called their name. That's interesting. Old King James says their name, Adam, in the day that they were created. Adam is, I believe, Adam is of the earth. I believe it's, I think it's called of the earth. Let's see, chapter 5, verse 1. Genealogy, verse 1, genealogy, mankind. So that Adam or Adam means mankind. So, an interesting phraseology there in Old King James. Okay, here we go. And Adam lived, verse 3, Adam lived 130 years. Excuse me, let me get my wallet out of here. 130 years, and begot a son in his own likeness after his image, and called him Seth. Now, starting in verse 4, I'm just going to read the names. I'm not going to read how old or whatever. I'm just going to read the names. So Adam is first, Seth, after Cain and Abel. Seth. Going to verse 6, Seth, after Seth is Enos, or Enos. Enos was the father of Canaan. Canaan, verse 12, was the father of Mahalaleel. Verse 15, Mahalaleel begot Jared. That's a fairly common name today. Jared, in verse 18, begot Enoch. Enoch, in verse 21, Enoch lived 65 years and begot Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God after he begot Methuselah 300 years. And he begot other sons and daughters. All the days of Enoch were 365 years. 365 days in 1 year. Times up by 365 years. That's a lot of days. And Enoch, verse 24, Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. After Methuselah, Methuselah became the father of Lamech. Verse 27, all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. Lamech begot a son named Noah. Verse 29, Lamech called his name Noah, saying, this same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which the Lord had cursed. Verse 30, Lamech lived after he begot Noah 595 years, begot other sons and daughters. All the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begat Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Methuselah's name, I've heard, means his death shall bring. His death shall bring. That's what I've heard, and I believe there is, hopefully there is no, let's see, there is no footnote for his name, which I find very interesting. Chapter 6, verse 1, here we go. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God, that could be the angels, possibly the angels, sons of God, saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for he also is flesh. For that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, verse 4. And the giants, Nephilim, mighty or fallen ones, interesting. And giants in the land, in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of God, the angel, possibly angels of heaven, or fallen angels, came into the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. Verse 5, and God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart were only evil continually. And it, verse 6, verse 6, the Lord was sorry for it. The Lord was, that's interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that right? It. Verse 6, it repented the Lord. Okay, so it's kind of backwards. The Lord repented, the Lord was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. God has a heart. I thought he was a spirit. His heart, possibly, another word for heart is spirit. Let's see. Verse 6, also letter C. Oh, that's Mark 35. Mark 3, verse 5. And we'll probably get to that later. Verse 7. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. It repenteth thee. Bad grammar, the old King James. Bad grammar. Verse 8, and Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with God. Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth was also corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. God said unto Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make thee an ark of gopher wood, rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shalt pitch it within and outside with pitch. This is the fashion which thou shalt make of the ark. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in the cubit, ants, go away. Windows shalt thou make to the ark, and in the cubit thou shalt finish it above, and the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof, with lower, second, and third stories, or decks, shalt thou make it. And behold, even I do, it should be I will bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. With thee, however, will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife and thy sons' wives with thee. Of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. Of fowls after the kind, of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind, 2 of every sort shall come unto thee and keep thee alive. Take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be food for thee and for them, the animals. Thus did Noah according to all that God commanded him, so did he. Okay, so that's chapter 5 and 6 of Genesis, and we'll do chapter 7 next week. Let's go to Exodus chapter 2. We're going to do Exodus chapter 2 in this video as well. Exodus chapter 2. There went a man of the house of Levi and took to a wife a daughter of Levi. The woman conceived and bare a son, and when she saw him, that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. When she could no longer hide him, she took for him an ark of bulrushes and daubed it with slime. Slime. Verse 3. Slime reads slime. Verse 3. Oh no. Oh, that's okay. That's a slime. Since 14:10. Okay. A slime and with pitch, and put the child therein, and she laid it in the flags, as reeds, by the river's brink. His sister stood afar off to witness what would be done to him. The daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along by the river's side. And when she saw the ark among the flags or reeds, she sent her maid to fetch it. When the maid had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the baby wept. She had compassion on him and said, "This is one of the Hebrews' children." Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and care to thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, that they may nurse the child for thee?" Pharaoh's daughter then said his sister, probably the baby's sister, that's probably Miriam. Then said his sister, probably Miriam, to Pharaoh's daughter, "Shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew women," or maybe the maid. No. It's probably, okay. She may nurse the child for thee. Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go," and the maid went and called the child's mother. Then said, when she opened it, the maid, she saw the child, and behold, the baby, and she had compassion on him, and said, "This is one of the Hebrews' children." Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter. Okay. A little confused there. Verse 8, and Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go," and the maid went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, "Take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee thy wages." And the woman took the child and nursed it. The child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. She called his name Moses, and she said, "Because I drew him out of the water." And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren and looked out on the burdens. And he spied on the Egyptian smiting the Hebrew, one of his brethren. He looked this way and that, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. When he went out to the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together, and he said to him that did the wrong, "Wherefore smitest thou thy fellow?" He said, "Who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me as thou killedst the Egyptian?" Moses feared and said, "Surely this thing is known." Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses, but Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well. Now the priest of Midian, Jethro, it's his name. The priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water. Excuse me. And filled the troughs to water their father's flock. The shepherds came and drove them away, but Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. When they came to Reuel, their father, verse 18, Reuel. Reuel is another name for Jethro. Their father, he said, "How is it that ye are come so soon today?" They said, "An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us and watered the flock." He said unto his daughters, "And where is he? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him, and that he may eat bread." Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah, his daughter. She bare him a son, and he called his name Gershom. For he said, "I have been a stranger in a strange land." Gershom means sojourner, temporary dweller. And it came to pass in the process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the Pharaoh and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage, and they cried, and their cry came up unto God by reason of the bondage. God heard their groanings, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them. So that's chapter 2 of Exodus for this video. In the next video, we will read the next portion of Matthew. I have to look up what chapter we're in. I think we're in chapter... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I think I'm ahead in Matthew, so I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to go to Mark in the next video. Mark chapter 2, okay? So stay tuned for that.